Hello everyone. This video is the second part of the fifth unit of the course CS3251 Programming in C. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about sequential access files. So what we have seen in the first lecture is about what is a file and how we access it either sequentially or random, and in sequential access file concepts, we have discussed about how to declare the file pointer variable. Next, how to use fopen function and fclose function, fflush and flush all function. So these are the things that we have discussed in the previous lecture. And in this lecture, we are going to discuss how we are going to read from a file or how we are going to write to a file. To read from a file, we are using these four functions: fgetC, fgetS, fscanf, and fread. To write to a file, we are going to use fputC, fputs, fprintf, and fwrite. So character input and output. So from the name itself, we know we are going to access the files in terms of a characters. That is, either we will write a single character at a time or we will read a single character at a time from or to the file. So when used with disk files, the term character I by O refers to single characters as well as line of characters. This is because a line is a sequence of 0 or more characters. So it is like a string. When we say as a string, it can have as 0 or more characters, right? So how will it get terminated? It will be terminated by a new line character. Whereas a string with a null character, here this line will be terminated with a new line character. Character I by O is used with text mode files. So we have already seen text mode and as well as binary mode. So this character I by O is used with text mode files. The first function is fputC, right? So to write a single character at a time to a given file, we use fputC. It writes the given character at the position denoted by file pointer and then advances the file pointer. So what it does, and the current position where the cursor is, it will write the character. Next, it will move to the next character, right? So that the next write will take place from that location, right? So the prototype of this fputC is, the return type is int, the function name is fputC, and it takes two parameters. One is the character that it is going to write, and then where it is going to write, the file pointer where it is going to write. So the return type is integer data type, right? So it will say either success or failure. So success, it returns the ASCII code of the character that it is written, and for error it returns the end of file. So this is the thing that gets written. On success it returns the ASCII code, on error it returns the end of file. Next is fgetC. So fputC is for writing to the file. Now we need to read from a file, right? So fgetC is used to obtain input from a file single character at a time, right? So what it is going to return? It returns the ASCII code of the character that is read by the function indicated by the file pointer, right? So after reading, what will happen to the file pointer? It will get advanced to the next character, right? So if the pointer is at the end of the file or if an error occurs, end of file is returned to this function, right? So this is the prototype of it. Int is the return type of this function and fgetC is the function name, and it takes the file pointer as its argument. So what it will going to return on successful read, it is going to return the ASCII code, and on failure it is going to return the end of file. What is end of file? When reading from a text file character by character, one can look at the end of the file character, right? So it is denoted as -1 in stdio.h file. So in this header file, it is denoted as the symbolic constant minus, which refers to -1. When a character input function reads end of file from a text mode stream, it ensures that it has reached the end of the file, right? So after processing all the characters, the last character will be the end of the file, right? So in text mode stream, that end of the character is used to denote the content of the file is completely read. So here is an example where we are trying to copy the content of one file to another file by reading single character at a time and writing the read character to the new file, right? So we need two files, one from where we are going to read and the next one where we are going to write. Okay. So in the beginning of the program, we are declaring two pointers, one to uh, for opening the file to be read and another to for the file to be write. Okay. So as we have seen in the previous lecture, this is the syntax for opening the file. This is the file name and this is the mode that we are going to open. And we are going to check whether the file is opened or not. In case if it is success, it will return the pointer. In case if it is not successful, that is failure, then it will return the null character. So itself we are checking whether it is null or not. So if it is null, then we are going to terminate the program, right? Likewise here, we are opening the second file in the write mode and we are going to check what happens. If it is success, then we will move to the rest of the program, right? So before moving to this, let us see what is there in the two files. So this is the first file marks and this is the second file marks2. So this file is opened for reading and this file is opened for writing. So what is our aim? We are going to read a character by character. So this is a number, but again it is a alphanumeric character, right? A numeric character. So it is read as a character, right? So it will first read one, copy here. It will read two, copy here. Next, the new line character, it will copy there. Next one. So like this, it will copy till the end of the file, right? So let us see the code for doing this process. So initially we are going to get a character from the first file, that is the file that was read, opened in read mode. Okay, and that character is stored in the variable C. We are going to check whether the character that is read is end of file or not. If it is not end of file, we are going to put that character using fputc to the second file pointer, right? That is the pointer which points to the file that is opened for writing. Next, again, so we are doing it again and again. So we have enclosed the code inside the loop, that is the while loop, right? So how it will get the character again we are going to use fgetC from the first file pointer and assigning it to C. In the next iteration, it will check whether C is end of file or not. So this loop will get iterated till the end of file is reached. So once the end of file is reached, this loop will get terminated and for our information it will just print contents copied. So a good programmer's practice is to close the files appropriately. So here we are going to close the first file pointer and here we are going to close the second file pointer, right? So this is the program. So after executing this program, this will be the content in the first file and the second file. This is opened in the read mode, so no changes will take place. This file is opened in the write mode and we read the characters here and wrote it here. So the contents of this file will get copied to the second file character by character till the end of line is reached. So this is about fputc and fgetC. Next is F put S. So C stands for character and S stands for string, right? String means it is a group of characters, right? So F put S writes a string to a specified stream but not including the null character. It will not write the null character. It will write all the other characters. Though prototype of fputs is the return type is int fputs and then this is the character array which is going to hold the string and this is the pointer to the file where we are going to write the content, right? Next, so that is said here, str, this is an array containing the null terminated sequences of characters to be written and stream is the pointer to the file object that identifies a stream where the string is to be written. So F get s. So we are going to read a string from a file, right? So it reads a line from a specified string and stores it into a string pointed to by the str, right? So it stops when either n minus 1 characters are read, the new line character is read, or end of file is read. So these are the conditions for termination, right? So what is the return type of this? It is going to return a character pointers, right? So f get s, it takes three arguments. One is str, which is the pointer pointing to the string, and n is the size of that string, and the file, this file pointer is pointing to the file where we are going to write our content. So that is given here, the explanation is given here. Str, this is a pointer to an array of characters where the string read is stored, right? And next, n is the maximum number of characters to be read. Stream, this is the file pointer where we have to read from. So the same example, right? That is copying the content of one file to another. In the previous example, we did it by character, and here we are going to use fgetS and fputS. So this part of the code is the same, where we have declared two file pointers here, and this is the code where we are opening the file in read mode, and this is the code where we are uh, opening the file in write mode. Okay, and here we are checking whether there is a successful open of the file. So before processing, this is the content of file 1 and this is the content of file 2. So here there is content, and this content we are going to copy here. So the rest of the code is, we are going to use a loop to do the same. So we have used a max, right? What is max? Max is declared as 10. So the size of the array that we are going to use is 10. Okay. So it will read 10 characters, the string of size 10. Okay. So in the loop, we are going to first read the string, right? And this is what is the string name, and this is the size of it, and this is the pointer from which we are going to read. In case if it is successful, it will not return null. In case if it is unsuccessful, it will return null. So if it is successful, what we are going to do? We are going to put that content into the second file pointer, right? So we are going, what is read is stored in this buffer. So that same content is written to this file pointer, right? So instead of doing character by character, this fgetS reads the number of characters that we give here, and fputS write the content in this character array to this pointer, right? So this is the example of it. As such, we have to properly close the file pointers and end the program. So this is the output after executing the program, right? All the contents here gets copied to the next file. The next statement is fprintf, right? So fprintf function is used to write set of characters into a file, right? So even fgetS also writes some set of characters. So let us see what is the difference here, right? So the prototype is int fprintf. This is the file pointer where we are going to write the content. Next, this is the format that we are going to specify, right? So while discussing about the example, you will know it clearer. So stream is the file pointer of the file object that identifies the stream, and format and contain embedded formatted tags that are replaced by the value specified by subsequent additional arguments and formatted as requested. So when we say as format, then for integers we will be using %d, right? And for character, %c. What format of data it is going to read. So that is what is given as this format. Likewise, fscanf, we are going to do the read operation from a file. Here too, we have to first specify the pointer and then the format that we are going to read and then the arguments. So here is the example. So I have created a file pointer fp, and next a variable role with the value 123, and then a string a with the value c program, right? I'm going to write this content 123 and this c program into the file named file.txt. So I have opened this file in the write mode, and then in fprintf, right, using the function fprintf, I'm using the file pointer which I have opened now, and then first initially I'm just writing the complete string hello file by fprintf, right? So this is for my understanding, I'm writing to the file, right? Next, again using another fprintf statement in the file pointer fp, I am writing one integer and one string, right? So the integer is the variable role and the string is the variable a. So this is what is the format that I'm going to write. That is, first I'm going to write an integer and then there comes a space and then it is followed by a string, right? So the arguments for this are, for this percentage %d, it is the variable role, and for this percentage %s, it is the variable a. So next, I am closing the file pointer, right? So this is before execution. The file is like this. It is an empty file, right? After the execution of that program, the content is is written by the C program, right? So the first fprintf statement writes hello file from fprintf, and then the next fprintf writes the content 123 and the string C program. So this is how fprintf is used. And this is an example for fscanf, right? I hope you know what is done here, the declarations. This is the file pointer declaration, a variable of type integer and two strings of type char, right? So we are going to open the file in the read mode here. So in the fscanf, I'm using the file pointer to read percentage %s. It means that I'm going to read the string, okay? And where it will get stored, it will get stored in the string b. B is the variable declared as character array, right? So the content read is stored in the array b, right? So on success, it will not return end of file. On failure, it will return end of file. So if it is success, in the console, it is going to print the string that was read from the file, right? So this is the output of the program. So this is before execution and after execution. So look into this. This is the line and this is the second line. Why it is written like this? It is writing a word by word, right? So what happens here? So we are using a iterator, right? That is a looping statement while. So what it reads? It reads string by string. So when we say a string, it will be terminated by null character. So in this example, when we see this is a complete string, this is another string, this is another string, this is another string, right? So itself, it is reading strings and then it is writing the content there, right? The next function is fread function. It reads the entire record, right? So you might have learned about structures. What is a structure variable? It will point to a structure. It may have heterogeneous data type. In case if we assume that we are going to store details about a student marks, right? So we'll be having roll number, name, and then marks of the students. So it will be a complete row, a complete record in a file. So to read a complete record in a file, we will be using fread. So this is the prototype of it. Fread, this is the structure variable, and then size of the structure variable, and then the number of records that we are going to read, and then the file pointer from which we are going to read. Likewise, fwrite, to write the entire record, to write a structure content to a file, then we are going to use fwrite. So let us assume this. We are having a structure named student where it has three members. One is int, role, next the name, next the age. So in the main program, I have declared a variable s of type student, and it is an array type, right? And I'm going to open the file in write mode. So using for loop, I'm getting information for two students and I'm writing the content to the file, right? So printf, enter the details of student. I will take the appropriate value of I in that particular iteration. Just I'm going to get the data for roll number, then I'm going to get the data for name, and then I'm going to get the data for age. After getting the input from the user, I'm using fwrite statement to write the structure variable, the complete structure variable to the file pointer, right? So I'm using size of the structure variable. So we know, right, it will take four arguments. One is structure variable, size of the structure variable, the number of records we are going to write, and the file pointer, right? So this is the structure variable, this is the size of the structure variable, and this is the size of the record, and this is the file pointer, right? After doing for two records, the for loop will get terminated and we are properly closing the program. Next, in this part of code, we are opening the file in read mode and we are going to retrieve the details, right? So since I know that I have two records there, I'm using this for loop for two runs. And using the fread statement, I'm reading into this variable, and this is the size of the variable and how many records I'm reading, one, and then from which file pointer we am reading, fp, right? So the content will be in this structure variable. So I'm printing, after reading one record, I'm just printing it in the console, right? Appropriately the roll number, then the name, then the age I'm printing, and then closing the program. So this is the output, the explanation. So first we are going to get the user input. So for student 0, first it gets the roll number, next the name, next the age. Next for the second student, it is going to get the roll number, the name and the age. So once the record is obtained, it will write to the file. Next what we do, we read from the file, right? So this information is to say that the contents were written. Next, we are going to start the read operation. So the details of student 0 are, it is reading from the file and it is displaying it in the format that we have given, right?